everybody. This is the Manchester Road Traffic Calming Meeting number 1. On behalf of the City of Ann Arbor, I would like to thank you all for joining us in the opportunity to engage with community members. These traffic calming projects rely on resident feedback, and we appreciate and encourage participation. If you didn't get a chance to complete the demographic poll, we will relaunch it at the end of the meeting. The Manchester Road Traffic Calming Project team is a partnership between the City of Ann Arbor and Wade Trim. Wade Trim, an engineering firm based in Southeast Michigan, has been contracted by the city to assist with their traffic calming projects. This includes design work, project management, hosting public meetings, and sending out communications to the public. From Wade Trim, team members include myself, Lori Pollock, as well as Christy Thelen and Chris Wall. Supporting Wade Trim are Ann Arbor engineering staff members, Andrea Wright and Luke Liu. Here's our meeting agenda for tonight. Most of tonight's time will be dedicated to meeting 1 portion under section 3, where we will review devices, present the starter idea, and collect feedback. If you're joining from a computer or using the Zoom app, there are 2 ways of asking questions and providing feedback. You can press the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. This will notify the host. You can also lower your hand with the same button. When recognized to speak, the host will allow you to unmute. If you would rather type a question or comment out, you can press the Q&A button. A chat box will appear. You can type in the text box and press send to submit your message. If you would like to send your feedback anonymously, please make sure to check the box. For any attendees dialing in by phone, you may request to speak by dialing *9. You will be recognized to speak by the last 3 digits of your phone number, and the host will unmute you. You will not be able to use the Q&A function. There will be multiple points throughout the presentation where community feedback will be requested through Zoom's polling feature. If you're on a computer or using Zoom app and a poll is launched, it will automatically pop up. After you answer the polling question, press submit. When the poll closes, results will automatically pop up. Press close to stop viewing results. For attendees dialing in by phone, the host will read the question and available responses out loud. To participate in the poll, press *9. The host will recognize you by the last 3 digits of your phone number and unmute you, allowing you to answer the polling question. The host will place you back on mute after. Please note, computer app polling is anonymous during the meeting, but dial by phone polling is not. As a test, we will launch our first poll. Sorry, 1 second. Do you live in the project area, Manchester Road between Buckingham Road and Needham Road? Yes or no? Hopefully you can see that poll.
We can, Lori.
Okay. All right. During the presentation, and especially during any feedback from your fellow community members, please keep these Zoom norms in mind. Start on time, end on time. Raise your hand to be recognized to talk. There will be 1 speaker at a time. Move to a quiet area and silence any background sounds when speaking. Speak loud and clear so everyone can hear. Everyone will be provided a chance to speak before a repeat speaker. Be respectful of others' ideas and perspectives, no finger pointing. Try to differentiate between I know, facts, and I think, opinions. Inappropriate written and/or verbal comment or language, including personal attacks and accusations, will result in the attendee being removed from the meeting. Also, please use the Q&A function freely. We will be monitoring throughout the meeting. To keep with our meeting schedule, we may wait for dedicated breaks in the presentation to answer questions live or recognize speakers. If there are any questions or comments at this point, please use the Q&A function or raise your hand. Not seeing any. All right. Traffic calming process. What is traffic calming? Traffic calming is the combination of mainly physical measures that reduce the negative effects of motor vehicle use, alter driver behavior, and improve conditions for non-motorized street users. There are many examples of traffic calming in Ann Arbor, and we'll show some of those in later slides. The traffic calming program in Ann Arbor is designed to provide residents with a formal process for engaging with the city in a partnership to perform a technical analysis of traffic concerns on local streets and explore potential solutions. It's a 5-step program and we'll briefly describe each step, but there's a guidebook available online that has more detail if you'd like to review anything after this meeting. The Manchester Road project started with one of your neighbors acting as a petitioner who submitted a request to the traffic calming program for Manchester Road between Buckingham Road and Needham Road. The petitioner gathered signatures from residents who lived in this area. The requirement for traffic calming program to accept the request is that at least 50% of the defined project area must support the project, and a preliminary technical study must result in at least 10 points. This project collected signatures from 50% of the addresses, and the preliminary study resulted in 29 points. A breakdown of those points is available on the project website. At step 2, Wade Trim sent out mailers with an initial questionnaire to all project area residents to gather feedback on specific concerns you may have and what experiences you may have previously had with traffic calming. A detailed summary of the questionnaire results is available on the project website, but the requirement to continue on to step 3 is at least 50% of those who participate in the questionnaire must support the project moving forward. Of the questionnaire responses we received, 73% were in favor. A detailed summary of the initial questionnaire can be found on the project website as shown in this slide. In general, results of the initial questionnaire indicated that speeding and high traffic volumes are observed. Traffic from local schools has been reported as a cause for some of the increases in traffic and at the Hill on Manchester and Buckingham, which contributes to sight distance problems and speeding. Important crossings for Manchester mentioned in the feedback are shown at the starred locations. Please use the Q&A function or raise your hand if there are any concerns or if there's context we have missed. All right. Step 3 is where we are today, and where most of our focus will be for the rest of the meeting. Before we present the starter idea, we'll go through an overview of the device toolbox that is described in the program's guidebook. Polling. Before that, we'd like to do a quick poll to see how familiar people may be with the guidebook. The question is, have you reviewed the traffic calming guidebook, specifically the device toolbox found on pages 9 through 12? Yes, I'm all set, or yes, but I would still appreciate a refresher, or no. All right. Because of the structure of this program, the designs we propose are limited to the device toolbox and guidebook. This means if it's not in the toolbox, it's not an option for this project. Some commonly suggested solutions that are not included in this program are stop signs, cul-de-sac or street closures, police enforcement, new sidewalks installations, removal of existing devices. Additional information and resources can be found in the guidebook or on the A2Gov website. On pages 9 through 12 of the traffic calming guidebook, devices are grouped into things you drive over and things you drive around. A disclaimer about this portion of the presentation: some of the devices that are in the guidebook will not be covered tonight. This is because they are not feasible for this specific project, either from an engineering perspective or the Ann Arbor Fire Department has requested that we not use them. Things you drive over are devices that slow traffic by creating discomfort if traveled over at a speed exceeding 25 miles an hour. The device toolbox presents 4 devices that fall under this category: speed humps, speed tables, raised crosswalks, raised intersections. A typical speed hump diagram is on the left. An example from Wells Street is shown on the right. Speed humps are typically 12 feet long, 3 inches high, have a parabolic shape, and extend the full width of the street except for the gutter. Studies have found benefits of speed hump treatments may include speed reductions, traffic volume reductions, as well as crash reductions. Some other notes regarding speed humps are: the height is designed for ease of bike usage and bike safety. If previously permitted, vehicles can park on speed humps, and trash cans can be placed on speed humps if necessary. This is a speed table. You can see a fully constructed example on Glenwood Road near Washtenaw Avenue. Speed tables are raised devices that extend the full width of the street, except for the gutter. They're typically 22 feet long with tapered edges, a flat 10-foot center platform, and are 3 inches high. Studies have found benefits of speed table treatments may include traffic volume reductions as well as crash reductions. Some other notes regarding speed tables: speed reduction is less than the speed hump. Platform width could be customized. The height is designed for ease of bike usage and bike safety. If previously permitted, vehicles can park on speed tables, and trash cans can be placed on speed tables if necessary. This is a raised crosswalk. The example shown is on Forest Avenue near Woodlawn Avenue. Raised crosswalks are raised devices that extend the full width of the street except for the gutter. They're typically 18 feet long with tapered edges, a flat 6-foot center platform marked with crosswalk striping, and are 3 inches high. Studies of streets with raised crosswalk treatments have shown speed reductions, traffic volume reductions, and crash reductions. Some other notes regarding raised crosswalks: they increase pedestrian visibility, installation must be compliant with ADA, and parking on a crosswalk is illegal, raised or not. And this is a raised intersection. This example is at Maplewood Avenue and Norwood Street. At a raised intersection, each leg of the intersection is ramped to raise the entire intersection 3 inches high. Pedestrian crosswalks may also be marked and raised to the same elevation. Raised intersections are shown to reduce vehicle speed and increase pedestrian visibility. They must be compliant with ADA, and they are designed for bike safety and designed to have a minimal impact to emergency vehicle response time. Questions? If there's any questions about devices you drive over, please raise your hand or use the Q&A function. Okay. Not seeing any, so we'll move on. The other group of devices in our toolbox are things you drive around. This type of device slows traffic by creating the perception of less room for error and a road that is visually or physically narrower. The device toolbox presents 7 devices that fall under this category: pedestrian gateways, median islands, pedestrian islands, residential traffic circles, mini roundabouts, curb extensions, and chicanes. The next few slides will describe each of these devices except for the devices marked in red. These devices have been omitted from this project due to street width requirements set by the fire department and conflict with existing traffic controls. Curb extensions can be used in several designs: curb bump outs, mid-block bump outs, and chokers. Shown on the right is a bump out at Granger Avenue and White Street. Curb extensions act as an extension of the curb line to physically and visually tighten the corridor by narrowing street width. 2 parallel curb bump outs can be used to create a single lane width passageway or choke point. Alternating bump outs can be used to create a chicane effect. Curb extensions may require drainage considerations, may require loss of on-street parking, may cause debris to collect around the device, and must maintain 20 feet for emergency response vehicles. 2-lane chokers may result in speed reduction and have shown to produce a minor reduction in traffic volume. 1-lane chokers may reduce speed reduction, may result in reduction in traffic volumes, and rely on regulatory signs and driver courtesy. Devices apply to intersection and mid-block locations can shorten pedestrian crossing distance. They also can improve pedestrian visibility and eliminate illegal parking. This slide shows an example of alternating curb bump outs that create a chicane effect. Like other curb extensions, chicanes may require drainage considerations, may require loss of on-street parking, may cause debris to collect around the device, and must maintain 20 feet for emergency response vehicles. Other devices include neighborhood gateway treatments. These are a physical landmark that indicates a change from a higher speed arterial road to a lower speed residential or commercial district. Neighborhood gateway treatments can increase awareness for residential speeds and may require additional right-of-way. In addition, neighborhood or the adjacent property owner would bear landscaping, installation, and maintenance costs. If there are any questions about devices you drive around, please raise your hand or use the Q&A function. Is this a recorded presentation or a meeting? Will the recording be posted? Because the link just showed up on the site 20 minutes ago. Yes, this meeting is being recorded and will be available. If you would like to see additional examples of how these devices were used, there is an interactive map on the traffic calming website that shows the past and current projects. Next, we'll present a starter idea, which is a draft plan we've created based on engineering judgment and data collection, including the preliminary traffic study and feedback from the initial questionnaire. There will be opportunity to answer questions on each device and discuss any changes you may want to see, keeping in mind this project is limited to the devices we just reviewed.
Because of the technical difficulties with the website, I'm going to throw a curveball and I apologize to you. Do we
Okay.
have any questions before we get into the feedback exercise from anyone in the meeting right now? No? Okay. I just want to make sure that there's anything we don't have. If questions pop up about the feedback exercise and you have any questions in relation to stuff that you don't know that we've covered already, that is totally fine. We will post this and yeah, I just want to throw that out there. Thank you.
Anne has indicated this meeting should be rescheduled.
We will take that back and discuss it internally and determine that, but there will be a meeting number 2. And just so you know, the starter ideas are not made public until right now. So you're about to see what everyone hasn't seen. No one's seen this at this point. So we're going to move forward with the meeting as we go. There is going to be a meeting 2 with an additional place for feedback as well, which will be covered later in the presentation.
Thank you, Anne, for your comments. So as Andrea mentioned, next we'll present the starter idea, and this is the first time anyone will be seeing it. And it's a draft plan we've created based on engineering judgment and data collection, including the preliminary traffic study and feedback. There will be an opportunity to answer questions. This is the starter idea. Again, this is a draft created based on the information gathered from steps 1 and 2. We've proposed 3 devices for Manchester Road. They are spaced to work together and create a traffic calming effect on the entire block. Device 1 is a speed hump near 2273 and 2276 Manchester Road. A speed hump was placed here to slow traffic traveling downhill from Buckingham, as well as any traffic that may attempt to speed after the curve leading up to Needham. Speed humps can result in speed reductions, traffic volume reductions, and crash reductions. Some things to keep in mind are that legal on-street parking is still permissible at speed humps, and they are designed to be safe for vehicles and bicyclists to travel over. If there's any questions, please raise your hand or use the Q&A function. All right. Oh, it looks like we have a thumbs up. Thank you. Device 3 is a raised crosswalk at the Nottingham Road intersection. Raising the existing crosswalk would increase pedestrian visibility and may provide traffic calming effects similar to a speed hump. Speed reductions, traffic volume reductions, and crash reductions are expected. If there are any questions, please raise your hand or use the Q&A function. Okay, I'm not seeing any yet. And device 3 is a speed hump near 2211 and 2440 Manchester Road. This location was chosen to complement the spacing between devices 1 and 2. The speed hump is also being proposed after the crest of the hill at Buckingham Road to slow downhill traffic. Speed humps can result in speed reductions, traffic volume reductions, and crash reductions. Some things to keep in mind are that legal on-street parking is still permissible at speed humps, and they are designed to be safe for vehicles and bicyclists to travel over. If there are any questions, please raise your hand or use the Q&A function. Okay. Polling. The next few slides will be poll questions for each device. Do you support device 1, speed hump between Needham and Nottingham Road? Yes, I support this device and live in the project area. Yes, I support this device, but do not live in the project area. No, I do not support this device and live in the project area. Or no, I do not support this device and do not live in the project area. I think we've gotten everyone's answers. Question number on device number 2. Raised crosswalk at Manchester Road and Nottingham Road. Do you support this device? Yes, I support this device and live in the project area. Yes, I support this device, but do not live in the project area. No, I do not support this device and live in the project area. No, I do not support this device and do not live in the project area. Andrew, I don't know if you're there. Are you able to see the? Let's see, I didn't get the poll. Yeah.
I will, so we're trying to launch the device 2 poll.
Okay.
I will, oh. Our polling went down.
It's the launch is.
Yep.
Not working. Okay.
All right, so we will not read your answers out loud or publish them for people to read. But could you please put, yes, you're in favor of device 2 in the Q&A box, or no? We see that we know that everyone in the meeting currently lives in the project area. So yes, I support device, are we in 2? Yes, I support device 2, or no, I do not. Because we cannot launch the poll. Thank you for your responses thus far.
I think I got it, Andrea. Sorry, everybody.
All right, perfect.
Here we go.
The host has certain capabilities, which is Lori said. Thank you, Lori.
And please accept my apologies. This is the first time I've done the poll. So thank you for your patience with me today. All right. I think we got all 4 out of 4 here. So I'm going to end this one. Go back. And now we'll go to device number 3 poll. Do you support device number 3, speed hump between Nottingham and Buckingham? Yes, I support this device and live in the project area. Yes, I support this device, but do not live in the project area. No, I do not support this device and live in the project area. No, I do not support this device and do not live in the project area. And we have 3 out of 3. One more response. There we go. Thank you. We will post today's presentation and recording to the project website by next week. We will also post a summary of today's polling and use the feedback to create a preliminary plan. The next step will be meeting number 2. Meeting number 2 will consist of 2 parts, a self-guided tour and a Zoom meeting. That Zoom meeting is scheduled for June 22nd. For the self-guided tour, you will receive a mailing packet at least 2 weeks ahead of the Zoom meeting. The Zoom packet will contain device images and descriptions which can be utilized to complete a self-guided tour prior to the meeting. Approximate device locations will be marked in spray paint on the pavement and display the device image and description on a temporary sign near each location. You can also use Google Street View to conduct the self-guided tour. The meeting number 2 Zoom portion is scheduled for Thursday, June 22nd at 6 p.m. During the meeting, we will present the preliminary plan, answers questions, and poll the audience on each device similar to the activity we just did. The last step of the traffic calming process is final polling. After meeting number 2, the plan will be finalized and sent to the project area residents. All residents and property owners will be mailed the final polling package, which will contain a cover letter, the final plan, and final poll. Just like the initial questionnaire, you will have the option of submitting your poll by mail or completing the poll online. To continue moving forward in the traffic calming process, more than 50% response support is required. If this criterion is met, our team will request support from the Transportation Commission and submit the plan for City Council's approval. If the project receives approval from City Council, a construction date will be determined. So before we go to next steps, I just wanted to check and see if there were any questions. Okay. All right. Today's presentation and recording will be posted to the project website by next week. We'll also post a summary of today's polling and use the feedback to create the preliminary plan.
Lori, there is a question and I can answer
Okay.
that.
Okay.
What is the funding source for this potential? This funding source is Act 51. And it is a portion of the Act 51 that we receive. And we get allocated an amount by council yearly. That is the funding source.
All right. Thank you, Andrea. No other questions? All right. So July 17th, final polling card will be mailed to project area addresses. August 7th is the deadline to electronically complete or postmark final polls. And then sometime in August, the Transportation Commission meeting requesting support will take place. And then in September, the plan is for City Council meeting at that time for final approval. If there are any additional comments or questions you might have after today, you may leave a voicemail or send an email. If you would like email notifications about upcoming mailing packages, please type your email in the Q&A. And I've launched the demographic poll, and it looks like we've gotten answers from everyone. So I will close that out. And if you have any additional questions or comments, the meeting will remain open for another 10 minutes. Otherwise, you may leave at any time. Thank you for your participation this evening. We really appreciate your care and interest in this project and hope you enjoy the rest of your night.